started. This is the New Rules of Selling Technology Services, and with us today is myself. My name is Richard Kulian. I'm the online marketing producer at Autotask, and I manage all of our webinars as well as managing our online marketing assets, our social media. So if you see a Facebook tweet or a tweet, anything on LinkedIn that comes from Autotask, it's usually coming from my lips, or actually my fingers. But also with us today is Mike Cooch. He's the CEO and founder of Kutenda, and he's got a great presentation for us. I'm real excited for it. I know when I was going through it, it's something that it looks like it's going to be very valuable to your businesses. So with that, I'd really like to turn it over to Mike and let him kick us off.
Hey, thank you very much, Rich. I appreciate it. And certainly want to say welcome to everybody that's on the line, and thanks for attending. And I hope I've got some good content for everybody. Sales and how to get new clients is certainly always the hot topic, and you're coming into a new year. It's an awesome opportunity to sharpen your skills, try some new approaches, and see what you can do to ramp up business. So we'll go ahead and get going here. As Rich said, at the end of this, we'll have a Q&A session, so type in your questions during. But I'm just going to keep rolling and try and keep on track. This is a topic I get fired up about, and so I can get a little long-winded. So I've prepared a bunch of notes for myself here to try and keep myself on track and make sure I keep within the time limit here and respectful of your time here. So we'll go ahead and get going here. In this webinar in the next hour here, I'm going to share with you what I believe are the new rules of selling technology services and what you need to do to adapt to these rules to ensure revenue growth in the coming years. There's a lot of changes going on in your industry. Technology is very dynamic. Business models are very dynamic, and you've got to stay on top of that in terms of how you're approaching and selling to customers to make sure that you keep competitive in this industry every single day. So all of the data shows that there are a small number of salespeople in any industry that outsell the rest of the salespeople in that industry combined. And it's kind of the whole 80-20 rule thing. You've probably heard of the term rainmakers, right? So this is our rainmaker image. And they may not exactly make money fall out of the sky, but they do enjoy far greater pay and recognition and a nice lifestyle compared to other salespeople that aren't able to match their results. And some people think that they're born that way. I don't believe that. I believe that they've mastered a set of skills that allows them to consistently produce results that are superior to the rest of the market by far. And if you know what those skills are and you commit to mastering them, then you can enjoy the same results and you can enjoy the same benefits enjoyed by those top salespeople. So that's my goal today. I'm going to do my best to share with you what those rainmaker skills are, what are the things that I think that you need to develop and how to do that. And that's a lot to cover here, so I'm going to try and hustle. Many of you probably already know me. My name is Mike Cooch. That's a picture my mom keeps on her bedside table. I don't know, our graphic designer put it in a pretty little frame like that, so that's what it reminds me of. But I'm the founder and CEO of Kutenda, and I'm previously the founder and CEO of Everon Technology Services, which I built into one of the leading MSPs in the U.S., and I eventually sold that in November of this last year. And I've seen this rainmaker dynamic in the managed services industry, both in my time as the CEO of a managed service provider and now as the CEO of Kutenda. We work with hundreds of MSPs, and I know that this rainmaker dynamic exists in this industry as well. I mean, in every market in America, and I'm sure in other countries as well, there's a handful of MSPs that really dominate their local landscape, right? I mean, when I was in Boston, where I started my previous business, Everon, there was a handful of us that really competed on all of the deals, and then there was hundreds and hundreds of other competitors, but for the most part, they were either left out of the big deals or kind of honestly picked up the scraps a little bit, I've seen that in every single market that we've gone into. We moved into Denver, we moved into Los Angeles, we were in New York City. I've seen that in every single market. That dynamic really holds true. It's kind of that whole 80-20 rule. And I had the good fortune of being one of the handful of companies that really experienced the benefits of being in that position. I mean, we made the Inc. magazine list of the fastest growing companies 3 years in a row, and we grew over 100% a year for several years. And we enjoyed all the excitement of it, and it was fun. It was a blast. It was a lot of hard work, but it was a great time. So, I think the most important thing, though, to understand is that sales was not always easy for me or for my business. It took us a lot of experimentation. I hired the wrong salespeople a ton of times. I mean, I don't know how many salespeople I went through. I tested all kinds of different sales models, and it was a good, probably 18 months into it, really working at it, where it felt like, we were starting to figure something out. And, prior to that, we would have a full quarter go by without signing any new managed services deals, and I would literally get sick to my stomach sometimes thinking about, man, I'm on a sinking ship, I'm doing something wrong. But, I was fortunate enough to surround myself with some really good people, and I think I hired the best salesperson in the industry, and I think I hired the best sales trainers in the industry, and I think that made all the difference for me over time. So I'm not going to tell you that sales became easy for us overnight, and or ever for that matter, because it didn't. That would be a lie. I mean, sales is still tough. It's challenging. It always will be. But that's why it's the highest paid role in any good company, and that's also why it's worth your investment in time and energy to get good at it, because it really does pay off. When when you're excellent at sales, you really are in control of your future. And I also know that sales can be learned. Okay, I've experienced this myself. I was not born some salesperson. I've invested a lot of time in learning how to sell myself, and I've also seen other people do it. And if you're dedicated to mastering the skills, the attitudes, the behaviors that I'm going to share with today, I'm confident that you can become a rainmaker. And you may not be, in that 1% or whatever, but still, if you're, at the 50th percentile today and you can move it up to the 20th, fantastic. If you can find ways to just give yourself more and more of an edge, it is certainly worth it. It certainly pays off. There's been a lot of people that I have studied with along the way to develop my sales skills and develop sales for my companies. These are folks from a company called the Rain Group. John Doerr on the left, Mike Schultz on the right. They are the founders, co-founders, and co-presidents of the Rain Group. These guys have probably forgotten more about selling than I'll ever know. I mean, I've worked with them since the very early days of Everon, and they served as my closest advisors on sales strategy and techniques. And they've literally written a book called Rainmaking Conversations. It was a Wall Street Journal bestseller on what it takes to be a rainmaker. And they're also one of the top sales training organizations around, and I would argue probably the leading experts on what it takes to sell high-dollar services as opposed to products. And that's an important distinction because, we know in our business today, we are selling now more services than we are selling products. It used to be a very product-centric business. It's gone very far away from that. So, their RAIN selling methodology, how to sell that complex sale, that high-value services sale, is definitely their expertise and definitely the niche that they've carved out. And they're co-creators of the sales training program that we have here, Selling Technology Services, which is something I've worked with them now for about a year. And almost everything I'm going to share with you about these new rules, these 7 new rules, I've learned from them, in one way or another. So, all right, that's enough of a lead up here. We'll go ahead and get into the 7 new rules of selling technology services. Now, in order to understand why these new rules are what they are and why they're so important, I want you to get a little creative with me here for a second, and I want you to pretend that we're in a time machine. Just bear with me here and go back to December 2006. And if you recall, the economy was still on fire. Everyone seemed to be making a fortune in the stock market. Companies were spending like mad on technology, and everything was up, right? Now, you get back in that time machine, let's go to December of 2008. And things are a little bit different now, right? We're now in the grips of what will turn out to be probably one of the nastiest downturns ever in U.S. history. And the entire world is really shaken at its foundation financially. And, who knows if we've really come out of that yet, right? I mean, companies and individuals are doing everything they can to try and cut expenses, save cash, and it's certainly a far cry from where it was just a few years ago. All right, so now let's get back in that time machine. Let's look at December 2011, right? Here we are. We're back into reality, right? And we're all looking at what does 2012 have in store for us. And it's a real interesting question, and one that